Hello, I'm WP Suazo, and I have for you a fiscal model. And I stress the indefinite article A fiscal model. This is one of many fiscal models. This is not the fiscal model. It is a fiscal model. It is one being used at North Shore Community College in the class of WP Suazo. My name you see on the label of this video. Now, the first thing I must say is this. T, the marginal tax rate is not used at this point. Now, that might seem like an outrageous whopper. How could we not have the marginal tax rate affecting the multiplier? That is far-fetched, and that I concede, but later on, in my class and in the later units, the marginal tax rate T is worked in to the model. But for now, here's what you need to see. What you need to see is that the multiplier, and let me introduce the pieces. So these are the GDP, where we are now, where we need to be, and the difference being our gap. For example, right now we're at 650, and we're 50 behind, which means we're supposed to be at 700. So we have that one done right there. The consumption rate, our after-tax consumption, what we consume of our take-home pay is 90%. Of our consumption, we spend 11% of it on imports. So this is a subset of that. Our multiplier, our spending multiplier is 2.5. Our tax multiplier is unknown. Our change or our action, I use change and action interchangeably. What must we multiply G by times 2.5 to fill the gap of 50? So what times 2.5 equals 50? And all we well know that that has to be plus 20. If the economy is negative 50 behind, 20 times 2.5 will plug 50. But look at this, we don't know the T multiplier, and because we don't know the T multiplier, we don't have a tax action. Now here's the missing link. The missing link is this. The missing link is whatever your multiplier is, times 1 minus importing times consumption equals the T multiplier. So we have everything here but the T multiplier. So our propensity to import, or the percent of our consumption spent on imports, is 11%. So this parentheses equals 0.89 times 9 times the multiplier. Our multiplier is 2.5. That will give us the tax multiplier. So if I use my trusty calculator here, and I say, all right, 0.89 times 0.89, that's 0.89 times 0.9 will give us 0.80 times 2.5, of course, is going to give us 2.0. So now we know that the tax multiplier is 2.0. We fill that in, we say, all right, to fill a negative GDP gap of negative 50, what times 2 equals 50? We have to cut taxes by 25. So we cut taxes there by 25. So let me clear out these values, and I'll keep that there. Now, how about a second example? Yes, a second example. So if we do a second example, let's say I give you 600. This is where the economy needs to be. I'll keep consumption at 0.9. All right, and let's say our T multiplier this time is 4/3 or 1.33 repeating, and I'm telling you that we are cutting government programs by 20 and increasing taxes by 30. So look at what we have here. Well, we have a T multiplier and a tax action. So 1 1/3 times 30 will give us 40. So we are 40 ahead. And where we ought to be at 600, that means we're at 640. So I repeat, if we have the tax action or tax change times the T multiplier, 1 1/3 times 30 will give us 40. And if we're raising taxes, that means we're 40 ahead of 600, we're at 640. Now, we have a G action, but we don't have anything else here. So let us fill in what we have. So we have a tax multiplier of 1.33, so I fill that in. We have a tax multiplier of 1.33. We have the consumption rate being 0.9. We have the consumption rate being 0.9. Now we don't have a multiplier and we don't have an importation rate, but let's not panic, because here's what I say. G times 20, or 20 times an unknown multiplier equals 40. That unknown multiplier has to be 2. So we know that's 2, and we can fill that in. Now behold, we have one unknown. We have one unknown. Okay. So we know that 2 times 0.9 equals 1.8. So what we're saying is 1.8 is what portion of 1.33? So if we go ahead and do that math, 1.33 coming from here, 2 times 0.9 equals 1.8. So firing up my calculator, I have 1.33 divided by 1.8, which gives me 74, which gives me 0.74. So if this whole element here has to be 0.74, if this whole element here has to be 0.74, we know that in this example, people are spending over a quarter or 26% of their consumption on imports, and that solves everything. So like I say, this is just a fiscal model. There are many others in